There are levels to this next story, Joe, that we're going to go through. Just like an onion, we're going to peel through it layer by layer by layer. Now, me, being a huge baseball fan, I love the Philadelphia Phillies. I love handicapping Major League Baseball season. We do a great show on Sunday mornings here, myself and Tom Vecchio, Pro Baseball Today. I can't have this sport go away. And being proactive is what we usually like, Joe, which means let's get these negotiations done way ahead of the time. The NBA did it here, and I guess these sponsors aren't happy that that deal is done so quickly now because they're going to pay a ton of money over the next decade or so. The NFL, we used to have those work stoppages way back in the day, but then they turned into a little bit of lost training camp time. But then the NFL goes, look, we all eat so well, do not disrupt this train. Well, Major League Baseball looks like it's heading for Armageddon, and their leader and executive director looked like he couldn't care less. He said, well, what does that mean, Donnie? Well, this guy was actually preoccupied with not getting a new deal, but absolutely securing some help in the office from his sister-in-law. Hey, you look kind of good. Why don't we date? What? How about I give you a job with my union? Okay, let's date. You're both out. See ya.
Honestly, plot twist, Donnie. When I saw this come across yesterday, I'm like, oh boy, baseball's going away. Like, we're in trouble here. If he's walking away from this, he's basically saying it's helpless here, guys. No, we're not getting anything done. And by the way, he's been in that position since 2013, right? So he was set to actually begin going to spring training sites this week, Donnie. Everything was. Yeah, so when I saw it, I was like, oh boy, Donnie, we're not getting a new labor deal. We're going to be without Major League Baseball. And then for that plot twist to come out that, no, it was actually because he had an inappropriate relationship with his sister-in-law, of all people, who actually he hired to work for the union. The whole thing is just, what a mess, Donnie. Absolute total mess.
When everything needs to be focused on your players, you are absolutely not focused on your players at all. I always think like a union head, what a great job that is. Okay, we have a CBA that lasts 6 years. What does that guy do? Just have free pay for 6 years until the next union comes up, and everybody gets angry at him and he takes the arrows, but they still move forward and you have a great life that you live. But also, as we said, Joe, there's levels to this. Maybe they could have covered that up or just settled a lawsuit and been okay with it. But now, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, a union getting in trouble with improprieties with how their funds are spent. Jeff Passan sent a tweet out. Tony Clark plans to resign as executive director of the Major League Baseball Players Association. Sources tell DVN Jr. and me. Clark's resignation comes in the wake of the Eastern District of New York's investigation into alleged financial improprieties at the union. Now, I don't know what you want here. If you watch the show Billions here, you don't want to be getting involved with the Eastern District. They'll take you apart piece by piece by piece. So infidelity and running your union like a mob? What's here? What am I seeing, Joe? What am I seeing?
Well, that Fed investigation has been looming over him and the union for months, right? So we've all known about this. But, ironically, Donnie, that was it never made a big deal of. Everything we've heard from him and from the union has been like, there's nothing, we denied it. There's nothing to see here, and basically he's moved on. So, yeah, when we heard that he was stepping down, we were like, oh, boy, maybe the heat's getting turned up. No, he wasn't turned up because of the investigation. It's because somehow he figured out a way to really screw everybody over. Because now, Don, who takes over now, Donnie? Who takes over now?
Yeah, and Major League Baseball was like, hey, we're not going to rush it. No. Trust me, guys. Take your time. How about you do just like the free agency in Major League Baseball that you caused here? Sign your actual new head of your union next April when the season was supposed to. Oh, blindsided us here. We didn't know we had to get somebody in place to try to actually negotiate. That's what they're trying to do. So, yes, Joe, take your time on a commission or a MLB Players Union rep and just say to yourself, it'll be okay. Usually it should say, we have to come to an emergency vote over the next 3 days to get a new guy in place to start negotiations ahead of time. But, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong. There is no way these negotiations start before the CBA ends in December. They're not even going to start. It's going to be terrible.
No, but what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to have somebody that is fighting for you for the year to try and avoid that. Now you got to waste however many weeks and months here trying to figure out, can we, how do we get somebody in here that we all feel is representing us the right way? Again, he's been there since 2013. Nobody knows where the bodies are buried like this guy when it comes to ownerships and everyone else. So It's just a bad situation made worse now for stupidity.
Now, here's also what we're hearing from Major League Baseball, which they're digging in as well. And there's even those quotes as we are going to burn this thing down. They're expected to have a $75 million per team war chest to expect the next season to get completely wiped out, or they don't lose any financials here at this point. You never want to hear that. Cooler heads are supposed to prevail. They almost lost the sport in the 1990s for stupidity and wiping out a World Series. They can't do it again. But then you say to yourself, they're going to do it again. I know the chances of Major League Baseball at least starting on time next year for me, Joe, put that up on Kalshi and Polymarket. I will bet it all day long. Absolutely no shot at this point when I pray that they can get it done. Let's get back to some news here, Major League Baseball. You see the Twins? Like, we ain't going to spend too much money on it. Pablo Lopez done for the year after tearing an elbow ligament. Oof.
Yeah, not great already, like we're hearing that.
Twins.
And hey, I believe,
night.
Donnie, wasn't he I think he was the opening day starter for like the last 3 or 4 years with Minnesota. Like he's always been their top guy. And now, he's done for another year. Unbelievable.
Twins. They're sell the season already. Twins ownership's like, we're not even going to buy anybody. Is that why we're spending like Milwaukee $1 million on free agents? Like, we're not going to pay you anyway in a year because this thing's going to get locked up. It's not going to be any big deal. Let's go over to the Mets and talking about their injuries. Here's Mendoza with a couple comments.
Their players be on that sort of.
Oh yeah, we got a few of them. Albies going to be on a progression as well. We all know how hard he works, but I don't think we'll see him in games the first week. Jorge Polanco, same way. He's a guy that when we signed him, the physicals, he had a surgery about a year and a half. Some of the things but he's going to continue to get live at bats, and we'll put him on backfield action before we put him on a game. I think that's it for now. Oh, Brett Baty is the other one. He felt something on the right hamstring about 2 weeks ago that we so he's gonna, especially like reps in the outfield, that's gonna take a little bit, but he's fine. But yeah, because he felt something on the hamstring.
I felt something.
Sometimes you talk about the lightning rods in Major League Baseball, particularly in New York City. Like Reggie Jackson comes over to the Yankees, like, yeah, man, I don't care about Thurman Munson over here. I'm the straw that stirs the drink over. Like, oh, that's going to go over well in the locker room. I'll tell you one guy, and I don't think he fights in the locker room with the players, but just from a fan perspective versus the team, Anthony Volpe, like coming up, so exciting, young kid, he's going to be the next Derek Jeter. And then it turns out like, dude doesn't come up big, makes a ton of errors. His dad's always yelling at fans in the stands. And now we find another, hey, this is an excuse, but I'm not using it as an excuse. My shoulder was really bad. What do you think about that, Joe?
Yeah, it sounds like an excuse. I'm sorry, but it really does. It sounds like I don't want. Anytime you lead off, Donnie, with the I don't want to, I don't want to use it as an excuse. That's exactly what you're doing. So yeah, no, I not buying it here at all. Ridiculous.
Look, remember all those errors out there? That wasn't my fault. That was our doctor. She'll be much better this year.
Yes,
and we'll see what happens with that one. How about Giancarlo Stanton, the big man made of granite in the middle of that lineup? Let's hear from him on the offseason.
We were talking to Aaron, and he was saying that with the slow offseason before they re-signed Belly and Trent, he was frustrated with the lack of moves being made. Was that how you were feeling as well?
I was definitely checking to see if anything was going on. Interested. Frustrating, I wouldn't say frustrating. You have all until through spring to make moves. So just interested, curious, and yeah.
Is he on the phone? Like,
put that picture back up just as a screenshot at this point right now. He's either ready to fall asleep, talking to somebody, or saying your question is so boring here that I can't deal with it at this point. Look, what is that?
Is he talking to somebody?
I'm only here so I don't get fined?
Yeah, like, or does he have like a tooth loose? Like, what's going on here? Like, is there an ice pack? What am I missing here? Look a little more engaged, will you, Giancarlo? My goodness, unreal.
Can you feel it in your blood, people? Major League Baseball starting to ramp up, but maybe they ramp down next year and we don't have a season. We'll get to a couple of those topics in just a few moments, but we love these type of markets that we can look at with Kalshi and Polymarket, a different way to invest here. And if we're talking about the American League and who's going to win the MVP, it always starts in, apparently, late lately finishes with Aaron Judge on Kalshi, currently trading at a 36% chance to win the MVP. Right behind him is hit machine out there in Kansas City, Bobby Witt Jr., which, if you look at Kansas City's field and the Yankees field, it's a huge advantage to Aaron Judge, but not as much as it was last year, Joe, as Kansas City going to move in some of those fences and lower them down, maybe helping Bobby Witt, but he sits there with a 21% chance to win MVP.
Well, and it's funny. Did we learn nothing from last year? I mean, let's be realistic. We started this season where we were like, the odds were so ridiculous, Donnie. We were like, you know what? Just name the awards after Ohtani and Judge and be done with it. Like, nobody is going to. Well, Ohtani, there was never a question about it. But all of a sudden with Cal Raleigh, there's always somebody that pops up and maybe, you know, the same old isn't. There could be some value maybe looking a little bit lower down on that board, Donnie, because, listen, nobody had Cal Raleigh neck and neck with Aaron Judge the final couple of weeks of the season. Not even remotely close.
AL MVP. And again, you're right about this too. Like, you just had a guy last year as a catcher hit 60 bombs, and it was still Aaron Judge. So Bobby Witt's going to have to lead Major League Baseball in hits, average, RBI, and home runs to take down Aaron Judge. See if he can do it this year, but it's just a credit to Aaron Judge and how good he is, and he works in that ballpark, man. Swinging a long drive, even if John Sterling can't tell if it's a foul ball, home run, or what, it goes out of the park here.